If it's working, it's cool. It's really modern and fast. Man, we were in the main terminal like that. I loved it. But I was kind of sad because the people movers were gone. When I was 3 years old, I was riding those people movers. And that's just all I've ever known here at Dulles Airport. And if you're like me, maybe there's been more than one occasion where getting on the people mover, I fought my way through the tight aisle and crowd to get to the door because I wanted to be the first one off, and I get to Terminal B and realize I'm at the back. You ever do that at Dulles, the airport? And then you have to wait for 100 people to get off this bus and you're the last one off. I mean, this is kind of what Jesus is talking about. You religious people, the Pharisees, gather for your church gatherings, and you come together to be close to God and to feel connected, and maybe to represent to the people around you, hey, I'm close to the head of the table. And he's saying you missed it. The work of God was here just a moment ago in this broken man who needs hope and encouragement. You reach out to him, you give up your seat for him, you start to encounter God in a way you've never encountered before. Because that is what God is passionate about. Remember, the next chapter, chapter 15, remember what Jesus defines as the activity and passion of God in the world. Finding those who are disconnected, who've lost their way. I'm not talking about preaching at people. Our world doesn't need that. Our world doesn't need self-righteous Christians talking down to them. What we're talking about is making room at the table. Whatever that looks like. It can look like a million different things. Inviting someone to sit next to you here at our weekly gathering. Having coffee with somebody who they don't want to be preached at, they don't want to hear more religious stuff, they just want to know that there's a God who maybe can forgive. Maybe he's a God of second chances. We position ourselves around this idea that God is healing. He's working to heal a broken world. I'm telling you that God comes to life in you in ways you're in awe. A lot of us live our lives trying to survive. God, please help me. Please get me out of this. Or we want God to prove himself to us. I'm telling you, the fix to this is the one thing that the elders are burdened with. It's our passion for this church. That we be a place that seeks God. But not just for ourselves. We be a place that seeks God, and we invite others, and we make room at the table for others to join us. I don't know if I should tell the story. I'm not kidding. I didn't plan on it, but I know there's cynicism about pastors and church leaders, and so I'm just going to ask you to trust me about this. I'm not manipulating this. I didn't set this story up last night. Something just happened last night. I came home and told Amy, and it wasn't until I told Amy that I even realized the connection with my message today. And I hope you trust that. The other elders might want to talk to me about telling this story before. Anyway, I'm just going to say it. We have been praying about, please understand this may never happen. This may never happen. We have been praying about an idea of starting a second Dulles community location in the Dulles area. Continuing what we do every Sunday, me here, our worship here, every Sunday morning here at Freedom High School, but maybe having another gathering somewhere in the Washington Dulles area on a Saturday night, maybe a Sunday night. And one of the places we've prayed about, this is me getting like 3 months ahead of, is Middleburg. And this came out of an elders meeting one night. We fasted, we were praying about what God might want to do in the future of our church. And there are reasons that maybe that's not a good idea. There are reasons that maybe it is. Just what kind of church conversation or God conversation or church community is there or maybe isn't there that we could maybe speak to. Well, anyway, I often go to little places on Saturday night and review my notes. A hotel lobby here, or sometimes Middleburg, or just various towns around here. I just get away on Saturday night and just chill and just go over my notes. And I was in Middleburg last night, And I'm walking into a tavern. It's pretty funny. I sat at a bar reading over my notes for this morning. And as I walk, I kid you not, if I was sitting there and the pastor said this, I would think, maybe he kind of set this up. I was thinking, I used to work in Middleburg. I worked there one summer. And I thought about my boss, who had very much lost her way. And I was just thinking about if we ever were in this town in some way as a church. I just wonder if she's still here, if God, and I kid you not, I walked in and she's sitting at the bar. The guy was leading me up to the bar to a stool, and I didn't realize it until I was sitting there. She was sitting in the bar stool next to me. And I don't want to jump too far ahead. We may never do that. That may not be God's plan for us. I'm thinking out loud here with you this morning. And so I sit there and I go over my notes. I never engaged her. She was there with somebody in a conversation. I overheard some of the conversation was about spirituality. She was talking about how spiritual principles work, don't they? She was asking for advice. She asked the bartender, doesn't it work this way? If you do good, you know? And I left just like, that is the weirdest thing. And I told Amy, and in telling Amy when I got home, I realized what we were talking about today. The notes I had just gone over. I don't know if that was God or not. I've seen him do these kinds of things so many times. Like it's like you don't even try. You just want to be about what he's doing in the world, and these amazing things happen around you. I want that for you. I want it for us. I don't want this to be a perfect church, because there is no such thing. We're people who are being restored and healed. We are sinners, all of us together, and Jesus is restoring us. We're never going to be a perfect church here at Dulles. That's not the goal. But as we are healed and as we are being redeemed, we have something very real to offer those who've lost their way. And in participating in that, in being a part of that work and activity in our world, God is around us. We see him work in our finances, and we see him answering prayer. We can't explain it. It's like, and you don't even have to look like a religious freak. I mean, you don't. And I say that because often when we talk about, whenever a church talks about reaching culture, it usually comes out so preachy and freakish, and I don't want to have anything to do with that. I want to be broken people who are being restored by a God who loves us and gives us second chances, who then can turn and just, however God gives us the opportunity, we tell that story. And we invite people to just come sit next to us as we journey together.